Hey y'all, so we're hanging out today and I'm in the middle of making blueberry muffins, and you might be sitting there like, dude, why are you making blueberry muffins? You're a grown man and that's a little weird. Don't judge. They're a bit of a comfort food for me. Y'all have comfort foods, we all have comfort foods. Growing up, I would do this thing multiple times a week where I would go over to my grandma's and we would make blueberry muffins and play Scrabble. I remember there were weeks that we would eat an entire batch of blueberry muffins while we play Scrabble, and it got pretty intense. Some blueberry muffins were thrown during games of Scrabble because we take our Scrabble very seriously. But blueberry muffins is the ultimate comfort food for me, and so that's why I'm making these blueberry muffins. All right, so they're all scooped out. They're all even for the most part. Now it is time for undoubtedly my least favorite part of making blueberry muffins. And that's putting them in the oven and waiting for like 20 minutes for them to actually become blueberry muffins. If you were to try to eat these, it'd be disgusting. So my least favorite part, it's time to wait. So while we're waiting, because again, this is my least favorite part, it's not even that fun. You don't even start to smell the blueberry muffins for like 10 minutes. But while we're waiting, guys, let's be honest, none of us like waiting, right? Especially for food. I mean, remember restaurants, when we used to go to restaurants, like waiting for your food, that's the longest 10 minutes of your life. None of us like waiting. We all get impatient, we get frustrated, we get annoyed when we have to wait for something, especially when we're hungry, right? The word hangry is a word for a reason. And it often comes out on the people around us, right? Like we don't always just like keep it inside. A lot of times it comes out on the people around us, our friends, our family, the people near us. If we're being honest, even when we are hangry, if we just take a step back, we breathe a little bit, and we look at the way we're treating people around us, I think we'll all agree that that's not the life that Jesus calls us to live, right? Jesus calls us to treat the people around us with love. And even Paul writes at one point that love is patient. So if you're trying to show love to somebody, you show them patience. And patience is one of the fruit of the Spirit. The Holy Spirit produces patience in us as we follow Jesus. And you might hear that phrase, fruit of the Spirit, and think like, wait a second, I got some grapes growing in me, like what's going on? No, it's not that. But the way that I like to think about it is, so the way you plant something is you put a seed in the ground and then you water it and then it grows, right? But the way that the Holy Spirit works is when we accept Jesus into our heart, the Holy Spirit enters in us kind of the way the seed enters the ground. And instead of watering the Holy Spirit in us, the way that the Holy Spirit grows and starts to show through our actions is by following Jesus and pursuing Jesus with our actions. And that's where we get that phrase, the fruit of the Spirit, because as we follow Jesus, we'll start to live out things like love and things like self-control, and especially like we're talking about today, things like patience. You see, guys, what's actually kind of cool is that the Holy Spirit is ultimately the one who's going to grow that patience in us. All we can really do to help grow our patience is to put ourselves in situations where we need to exercise patience, because patience is something that we can practice. Did you guys realize that? Like, you can practice patience the same way you practice playing the piano, the same way you practice shooting hoops in the driveway. Like, this is something that we can practice it by doing little things. Little things like deciding to let your sister use the bathroom before you in the morning. When no one's making you do it, you just practice patience by letting your sister use the bathroom first. You can practice patience by letting your little sibling, your little brother, watch his show before you watch your show on the TV. And you just patiently sit through another episode of Paw Patrol, and you just practice patience even when no one's making you. Maybe you just put your phone on Do Not Disturb for an hour, right? And you just patiently sit back and you say, okay, it doesn't matter who texts me back in that hour. It doesn't matter who I text back in that hour, because at the end of the day, those friends will still be there. But you're forcing yourself to practice patience even when no one else really around you is. If you really want to grow patience, plant grass seed, okay? Grass seed takes weeks to grow. And if you were with us the last time I hung out with you guys, I planted grass seed. It's finally growing, but it took like a month. And it's not gonna be easy. God doesn't call us to do what's easiest. He calls us to do what's best. And so if you're sitting there like, man, I'm trying to practice patience, but it really stinks and like it's not fun, Good. James tells us, the book of James, we read that we should consider it a joy when we go through a hardship, when we go through a trial, because that means that God is growing us and he's growing our faith into perseverance. And so guys, if you're talking with your small groups and you're saying, man, I'm trying to practice I'm trying to grow patience, but
It's difficult and it's annoying and it's frustrating. Good. That's a sign that you're growing. That's the sign that you're watering that seed in you and that fruit is starting to blossom out of you. So keep working at it. And so guys, knowing that it's going to be challenging, why would you choose to do it alone? Do this with your friends. This is something that you can talk to your friends about and say in your small group, hey, I'm going to try and do this to grow my patience this week. Can you make sure that I do it and I don't actually yell at my brother this time? So work with your small group, work together and make yourself be patient for things that you can wait for. Because then the next time that your friends and your family are making you wait for something, and you feel like, how could I possibly wait for this? You can look back at all the times that you made yourself wait and you can say, okay, I did it then, so I can do it now. And instead of lashing out and getting mad at my siblings, I can show patience. I can show them love by showing them patience. Well, it's actually starting to smell a lot like blueberry muffins right now. So guys, until next time, I'm gonna eat some blueberry muffins. We'll see you next time.